Assalamualaikum Dr. Nazri. I am Raja Normah and my partner Muhammad Hazem will present the IEEE Standard for System, Software and Hardware Verification and Validation IEEE Standard 1012 anti-2016. Introduction. The purpose of V&V is to help the organization build quality into the system during the life cycle by providing an objective assessment of product and processes throughout the life cycle. The assessment demonstration whether the requirements are correct, completed, accurate, consistent, and testable. The V&V processes determine whether the development product of a given activity conform to the requirement of the activity and whether the product satisfies its intended use and user needs. The determined include the assessment, analysis, evaluation, review, inspection, and testing of product and processes. Reliability and testability. The V&V task description include a list of the requirement, task input and outputs. System viewpoint include minimum software and hardware V&V tasks to address system issue. The task include hazard analysis, security analysis, risk analysis, migration assessment, and retirement assessment. Specific system issues are contained in individual V&V task criteria, conformance to international and IEEE standards to the product at the end of each life system activity. Solve the right problem, use correctly model physical law, implement business rule, and use the proper system assessment. Certificate internal use and user need to the operation environment is built in the correct product. The purpose of this standard is to establish a common framework of the V&V processes, activities, and tests in support of all system, software, and hardware life cycle processes. Define the V&V task, requirement, input, and requirement output in each life cycle process. Identify the minimum V&V task corresponding to a 4-level integrity schema. Define the contents of the verification and validation plan. V&V objective. The result of V&V provide the following benefit to the program. Facilitates early detection and correction to anomalies, and change management insight into process and product risk, support the life cycle process and assure conformance to program performance schedule and budget, provide an early assessment of performance, provide objective evidence of conformance to support a formal certification process. Improve the product from the acquisition, supply, development, and maintenance process. Support provide improvement activities. Organization of standard. Mandatory V&V requirement of this standard are provided in Clause 12, Table 1A through Table 1D, Table 2A through Table 2D. The focus point of the standard containing detailed V&V activity and task requirements are contained in Table 1A through Table 1D, Table 2A through Table 2D. The following addresses in Table Command V&V task in Table 1A and Table 2A, System V&V task in Table 1B and Table 2B, Software V&V task in Table 1C and Table 2C, Hardware VNV test in Table 1D and Table 2D. Conformance. Clause 2 through Clause 12, Table 1A through Table 1D, and Table 2A through Table 2D provide the mandatory VNV requirement of the standard. System software or hardware conformance to this standard can be archived by demonstration that all the shall requirements in the specific clause are met and defined below. System VNV conformance, Clause 7 and Clause 8. Software VNV conformance, Clause 7 and Clause 9. Hardware VNV conformance, Clause 7 and Clause 10. Definition and acronym. Verification. The process of evaluating a system or component to determine whether the product of a given development phase satisfies the condition imposed of the start of that phase. Validation. The process of evaluating a system or component during or at the end of the development process to determine whether it satisfies specified requirement.
Number 4. Relationships between verification and validation and life cycle processes. Figure 6 shows that the mapping of VNV activities to the system, software, and hardware processes. In this table, they show the VNV activity against the system processes as listed in the ISO, IEC, and IEEE standard, and also the software and hardware processes. This is figure number 7, which is the VNV processes which align with other technical life cycle processes. Number 5. Integrity levels. Integrity levels are used to determine the VNV tasks, activities, rigor, and the level of intensity of the VNV to be performed. Integrity assignments are used to determine VNV activities and tasks using Table 2A through Table 2D. The VNV criticality analysis task is used to classify the integrity level of every system, for example, subsystem or element in the system of interest. The integrity levels characterize and quantify the potential for undesirable effects and consequences resulting from integrity lapse, unintended effects, failure mode effects, and unverified performance effects. Number 6. The VNV process overview. The term performs means that the VNV effort specifies and creates its testing product, for example, the test plan, test design, test cases, and test procedures, and either conducts that testing or analyzes the result of that testing if it is conducted by another organization. Meanwhile, the term review means that the VNV effort reviews the testing plans and analyzes the result of tests. This is figure 8 that shows the minimum level for VNV testing according to integrity level. So there are 4 integrity levels, and these are the minimum level for each testing, whether it needs to be performed for that level, reviewed, or no action. So this is number 7, which is common VNV processes. There are 5 common VNV processes, which are VNV management, acquisition support VNV, supply planning VNV, project planning VNV, and configuration management VNV. Table 1A lists the VNV task inputs and outputs, and Table 2A lists the minimum VNV tasks assigned to each integrity level for common VNV. Number 8. The system VNV processes. There are 14 system VNV processes. We start with the business or mission analysis VNV, stakeholder needs and requirements definition VNV, system requirements definition VNV, architecture definition VNV, design definition VNV, system analysis VNV, implementation VNV, integration VNV, the verification, transition VNV, then validation, operation VNV, maintenance VNV, and finally disposal VNV. For software VMV processes, there are 13 software VMV processes, namely the software concept VMV, software requirement analysis VMV, software design VMV, software construction VMV, software integration VMV, software qualification testing VMV, software acceptance testing VMV, software verification, software installation and checkout VMV, software validation, software operation VMV, software maintenance VMV, and software disposal VMV. Number 10 is the hardware VMV processes. So there are 13 hardware VMV processes. The first is the hardware concept VMV, then the hardware requirement analysis VMV, hardware design VMV, hardware fabrication VMV, hardware integration VMV, hardware qualification testing VMV, hardware acceptance testing VMV, hardware verification, hardware transition VMV, hardware validation, hardware operation VMV, hardware maintenance VMV, hardware disposal VMV. So the VMV reporting administrative and documentation requirements, the VMV report shall consist of the following, which is the VMV task reports, VMV activity summary reports. For each anomaly that detected must be included in an anomaly report. At the conclusion of the VMV effort, the VMV final report shall be issued, and any special VMV studies conducted must be documented in a special studies report. The VMV administrative requirements are documented in the VVP, and the VMV test documentation requirements shall include the test plan, design, cases, procedures, and result for component integration, qualification, and acceptance testing developed. And finally, we have the VMV plan, which are divided into a few sections. The first section is the purpose, the second is the reference document, third is the definition, and the fourth is the VMV overview. So the VMV overview consists of 6 subsections, which is the organization, master schedule, integrity level schema, resources summary, responsibilities, tools, techniques, and methods. For section number 5 is the VMV processes. It can consist of the common VMV processes, activities, and tasks, system, VMV processes, activities, and tasks, software, VMV processes, activities, and tasks, and hardware, VMV processes, activities, and tasks. Section number 6 is the VMV reporting requirements. Section number 7 is the VMV administrative requirements, which consists of 5 subsections, which is the anomaly resolution and reporting, the task iteration policy, deviation policy, control procedures, standard practices and convention. Section number 8 is the VMV test documentation requirements. That's all for our presentation. Thank you very much.